Hi, this is Vicki Jervickas at the Greater Gainesville Chamber of Commerce, and I'm the Director of Public Policy and Grassroots Engagement. I'm delighted to be joined by one of our incumbents today, Ken Cornell, and he is running for the County Commission. And I don't have it right in front of me which district, but it is
4. Yeah.
District 4. Thank you, Ken. So District 4 County Commission, and Ken's going to kick us off, and we're going to get to know him even better in the time we have together today. Take over, Ken.
Okay, well, thank you, Vicki, and thank you to the Chamber and everyone taking the time to really watch these videos and get to know the candidates. It's an amazing process, and I feel honored to be able to participate in it. My name is Ken Cornell. I am your county commissioner running for my third term to sit on the county commission. And I think it's really important that we invest in our kids and our neighborhoods, that we protect our water and our environment, and that we continue to invest in core services like public safety and roads. Those have been my priorities since I've been on this commission. I've had an opportunity to work with a wide variety of commissioners over the course of the last 7.5 years. And I think it's one of the greatest jobs in the world to be able to not only serve your community, but actually have an opportunity to make decisions based on the public's input and listening to them that affect people's lives. And so with that, I'm looking forward to the questions and having everyone get to know me a little bit better.
All right, terrific. Well, let's jump right in. And you touched on this. The first question is, what do you perceive are the 3 most important concerns faced by Alachua County right now?
Yeah, so when I talk to folks, public safety and our roads seems to rise to the top of many people's lists. And so I've always been a big advocate and supporter of investing in public safety, whether that's our fire department, whether that's our sheriff's department, or whether that's public health. Safety can also be public health. And as of the last couple of years, this commission has really been focused on investing in and coming up with a permanent funding source to really increase our funding for roads. When I got on the commission, the only road funding source was gas tax, which is woefully inadequate. The gas tax only really covers our public works department. And so we started to put money aside every year. And we have about $4 million right now that's dedicated every year to roads. This current commission has decided to double that investment. So we're going to be close to $8 million with the new growth coming up in the current budget. And with the infrastructure sales tax, that could provide with close to another $9 to $10 million a year of roads funding, which would put us in a completely different position than we were and have been over the last 2 decades. So public safety, roads, we can talk more about that if you like, but those are two big priorities. Obviously, the environment has always been a priority of Alachua County, so I think that's certainly at the top of my list. And then most recently, we've seen the growth in Florida, and we have to prepare our community for the 1,000 people that are moving to Florida every day. And so from an economic standpoint and a growth management standpoint, we have to be prepared as a community to realize that Florida is growing exponentially. And with the institutions of University of Florida and Santa Fe here and the 3 hospitals which drive our economy, we know we're going to get a significant number of folks migrating to our community. So we have to be prepared for that growth and do it in such a way that we preserve what's important while preparing for the future.
Okay, very good. The next question has to do with the kind of bigger picture item, which is, what do you think the role of the Board of County Commissioners is in our community?
Well, so we are a constitutional office that is a subdivision of the state. And so what we do is we obviously do fund constitutional activities such as supervise. We don't fund it, but we approve the funding for the sheriff, the supervisor of elections. We provide funding to the property appraiser, to the tax collector, and then And then obviously public safety, health and welfare. You know, when you think of what's the role of county government, it's to provide a safe community, to provide a healthy community, and to provide economic opportunity for all. And so I think our role as county commissioners is to really listen to the community and to provide those services in a way that helps keep people safe, but gives them every opportunity to succeed.
Very good. Okay, and now this is the chance to really drill down on I think some of your opening points, which is what would be your top priorities and projects if you're back in office?
So obviously roads is a big priority of mine, making sure that we continue to have a sustainable funding source. What we did this year is we said that with the new growth that's happening, let's dedicate 1/2 of that new growth right into a continuing funding source. So that would be a big priority. I talked about public safety. We are going to be building 2 more fire stations, one in Alachua and one on Southwest 24th. And so as we grow as a community, obviously 911 is an important thing. When people dial it, they want to make sure people show up. And so our Alachua County Fire Rescue is a big part of public safety, and we're actually kind of restructuring how we attract and retain firefighters. And so that is in negotiations with the union right now, and I'm hopeful that that will result in a real positive step for public safety. You know, I think another big project that's happening is Celebration Point is going to be completed in January. That's going to have a tremendous impact from an economic standpoint in our community. And then on the eastern side of the county, this commission has been heavily focused on the Waldo Road corridor. And so we just did the ribbon cutting for the Army Reserve, which will be building a $36 million depot facility on the northern part of Waldo Road that will transform that entire area, providing economic opportunity up and down Waldo Road. And then, as you know, we are a partner with the city of Gainesville in providing over $70 million in CRA funding over the remaining 8 years. And we think that when you invest in areas, that drives private investment right behind it. And so I'm looking forward to the county's contribution to the Gainesville CRA on the eastern side of the county.
Very good. Now you touched upon this, but it's a little broader of a question. We have 2 amendments that are scheduled to appear on the November ballot: single member districts and the infrastructure sales tax to jump onto the wild spaces, public places. Tell us about your position on these 2 initiatives.
Okay, let me start with the infrastructure sales tax. So the wild spaces public places expires in 2 years in 2024. So this county commission thought that it was a great opportunity to combine wild spaces with other public infrastructure. We talked about the need for roads. Each of the small cities has committed that if this passes, that ½ cent would go to dedicated roads funding, and the county commission has agreed that 70% of that ½ cent would go to roads funding. So that's roads infrastructure, which would also extend wild spaces public places for 10 additional years. We know that 30% of the folks that use the public infrastructure don't live in Alachua County, and this is a way to hopefully capture some of those folks actually paying their fair share for using our infrastructure. So that's the infrastructure sales tax. We'll leave it up to the voters. Obviously, I think that if they vote for it, we'll be able to use those funds in a way that really enhances our community. On the single member district matter, this was brought to us by Tallahassee. And, you know, I'm really just not in favor of having voters reduce their voice and reduce their vote. Right now, every person in Alachua County has the opportunity to vote for and be represented by all 5 of their county commissioners. And I guess the best way I would describe someone to think about that is imagine that it wasn't that way, and imagine that they only had one county commissioner that represented them. I understand the need that closest to the people is the best form of government, but right now I think we have that. And in that case, if you only had one commissioner that represented you, in the event that there was an issue or something that you disagreed with that commissioner, then who would represent you? And that's the question I would ask everybody to think about. The reality is nobody would. you wouldn't have an opportunity to speak to your other commissioners. And so I think that really limits individuals' right to be represented and their voice. And I think the best government is a government that listens to the people and works together to do what's best for the county. We know this initiative was brought on by a group of folks out in Newberry. And I understand the point that they're making. The reality is those folks also don't have single member representation. They elect their Newberry commissioners at large. And so I hope that folks, when they see that, they understand what it is and they vote no on that initiative. So yes on the infrastructure sales tax, no on single member districts.
Okay, very good. All right, and now we have that last joyful wrap-up question. That is, why should members of the business community vote for you?
Well, I talked about in the beginning. First of all, my background is I'm trained as a CPA, graduated my master's of accounting from the Fisher School of Accounting. I've had a number of small businesses, and I understand what it takes to have to make payroll every 2 weeks or every month or every week. So I bring that background to this job when I think about how can we help the business community do what it is they want to do, which is make a living, provide for their family, provide for their employees, and improve the community that they live in. And so, when COVID happened, I was a real advocate for making sure that we kept businesses open and we got through that pandemic. And I would say that the next couple of years and probably the next decade, this state and our community is going to recognize and have tremendous growth. We are seeing it in the real estate market. We're seeing it really in every market. The state's budget is as high as it's ever been, $109 billion, and it's continuing to grow. And so how we as a community prepare for and capture that growth is going to be critically important to the community that we have a decade from now and 2 decades from now. And so, this job is one of the most gratifying jobs I've ever done. I think it's really an honor that I get to wake up every morning and serve the community that I grew up in. I was born and raised in, and I chose to raise my family in. And so it's just a real honor to be able to serve my community. And I hope the business community and the entire community support my efforts for a 3rd term.
Very good. Okay, well, now you have a few minutes to get in anything you didn't get to, or just wrap it up and close it out for us for today.
Yeah, so I guess thank you. Thank the chamber for helping get my message out, for helping hear other people's messages. It's really important for me that the people that are running against me are also just running for office. They're putting themselves out there. They're putting their ideas out there. I think it's really important that the community listen to those different ideas, and more importantly, that they listen to the community. I've said many times, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm in the wrong room. I think listening is really, really important. We have everything in Alachua County from an intellectual standpoint, from a resources standpoint, from an environmental standpoint. We have everything in Alachua County that we need to give everyone that opportunity to succeed. And I hope that my role as a county commissioner, if I'm elected for a 3rd term, can just be a small role to helping achieve, really prosperity for folks that want to improve their lives. And like I said earlier, this job I view as one of the greatest jobs in the world. And I'm getting to do it in the place that I view as the greatest place in the world, which is my hometown. And I hope to be able to continue that with my 3rd election. So please vote for me. If you want to learn more about me, you can go to my website. It's kencornell.com. Or even better, you can just call me on my cell. It's 352-281-4000. I try to be very available. I try to answer all my emails, and I try to take this job seriously because I know it's important for our community. So thank you to the chamber.
Thank you so much, Ken. And to jump right off of what Ken said, we are committed at the chamber to make sure everybody's voice is heard And so we encourage you to get to know these candidates. If you visit our website, and there will be a lot of information for you about all of the candidates and all the dates and deadlines you need to know to get out and vote in our upcoming election, Tuesday, August 23rd. Thanks again so much, Ken. Good luck on the rest of the trail. We'll see you in August.
Okay.